Let's try this one again as well. Hopefully you guys are able to hear me. So for this discussion post, the question is identify at least one current legislative bill or political issue impacting schools in your area. Then discuss the implications for school districts or schools in your area. Um, One of the biggest ones that still gets a lot of people upset, which the bill is changing on, thank goodness. But it is the third grade retention law. So it passed a few years ago where if a third grader scored below a certain score on their TCAP for ELA, that they could possibly be retained, or they would need to go through tutoring and stuff of that nature. So I know that that was causing a lot of stress for these third graders. They was crying every day, worried that they wasn't going to pass the TCAP ELA. Because I know one of my daughters, that law had just changed whenever she was in third grade. So she had to deal with that as well. The teachers had kept saying how stressful it was on them because not only are they already working hard enough to be able to teach everything for the TCAP testing, but now they're having to also go through all the emotions from the third graders and try to make them less fearful and less anxious of the test than what is they would already be in general. Um, so the new bill, it's HB 1995, where they're trying to make sure that retention is optional. It is not mandatory. That way, the districts are allowed to not retain a third grader if they've demonstrated throughout the year reading proficiency. This will help drastically with the stress levels of the youth, as well as the teachers, as well as the school districts and themselves and the family that's having to deal with the kids that is taking these testing. Even with the new bill, the same things that was implemented before is still available, such as summer school, additional tutoring. I know my children's school has tutoring classes during the daytime where they can go to a tutoring session if they scored certain scores on their TCAPs, as well as being able to potentially retake the TCAP assessment. Parents opting out from the TCAP assessment, and then looking overall at the growth to see if the third grader is eligible for promotion. Excuse me. By having this new bill, like I kind of said just a few minutes ago, it helps with the emotional stress on students. Of course, any type of major testing still comes with stresses and anxieties, but at least the third grader isn't having to worry as significantly if they're going to be able to advance to the fourth grade or not. I know when my kiddo was in third grade, she was a straight A kiddo, and then she was coming home every day so worried that she wasn't going to make good grades on the ELA portion of the TCAT test to be able to advance to the fourth, which is very unfair when they worked hard all year long and this one state standardized testing could possibly have held them back. It was also causing a lot of teacher burnout. The teachers was getting tired of dealing with the students and the families regarding the TCAP testing. So hopefully this new bill will be able to help alleviate some of that as well. Um, This new retention bill is allowing schools to take power back into their hands and they'll make the overall decisions of what youth has demonstrated throughout the year for them to be able to be advanced to the next grade, which is also leading to a lower amount of children being retained while they still have the interventions that they need to have. So this will be very nice to take off some of that stress off our youth. I think another one of the major bills in our area currently is the new bill for high school students, which I think's insane, but it's the success sequence curriculum requirements. That is to be a mandated curriculum through the Family Life Education program where the teachers are supposed to teach the steps to achieve financial success. My high schooler came home and told me that they was going to start doing this, and I kind of laughed because I thought it was a joke. But pretty much they're going to teach that a high schooler needs to first and foremost graduate from high school, earning their high school diploma. Then they need to get involved in the work force field, or that they need to go on and achieve a degree at either a post-secondary school or something of that nature. And then once they do that, they need to get married. And then after they get married, they need to have children. Our lawmakers believes that by teaching this, it is going to help lower the rates of poverty currently, as well as build stronger, more stable families where there's going to be less divorce rates, and people's going to be able to live a little bit more comfortably. On the other side of this, you have parents that feels like that their rights are going to be violated by this being taught. As parents raise their children how they should be able to raise their children with their own values. We shouldn't be setting a set standard for all families and all children, especially for youth that already doesn't have that type of childhood. Then we're kind of stigmatizing that the childhood that they have is incorrect, and we're labeling the way that they need to ensure that their life moves from that point forward. When in reality, there's no right or wrong to life. So the school systems may end up having to implement, once this becomes an immediate teaching thing, where there's more school social workers available for you to be able to go talk to, or there's more supports available for youth, as this could bring up a lot of potential trauma. Unfortunately, with the success sequence being taught to a point, it shows that we're blaming individuals and families for the reason why that they're not successful because they didn't follow these four simple steps. And that's the reason why they're in poverty, that they're having issues with housing, possibly transportation, why they're having to get government assistance. When in all reality, there is no timeline to life. Life happens when life happens, and some of the things that happens in life is the least suspected. So this bill is definitely going to, especially in our small area, going to cause a lot of controversy. Although a lot of people do agree that that's how life should happen, that kids need to go to school, they need to graduate high school, they need to either go into the workforce field or they need to go to college to better themselves. And then before they have children, they need to get married. That's just not everybody's reality. Think really quickly, and then I'm gonna move on from this. But by teaching this, not everybody's able to have children though. So we're putting that, or and then the ones that are able to have children don't want children. We're putting this stigmatized that they have to do this stuff. That this is the way that it should be. So and it's just not okay. And then you've got those that are same sex couples and things of that nature. So it life is not a one shop all, and that's kind of what we're with this bill is what's going to be taught. And then on the opposite side of it, it's not bills, but on the political side of things, that's really affecting our schools right now. In the rural county that I live in, it is where the school social worker has the parents has deemed her that she was sexually grooming middle school females. And with that being stated, the parents went to the school board after there was already a criminal investigation as well as a Department of Children's Services investigation. They went to the school board, that was recorded, and demanded for answers. They didn't want this school social worker to be able to be allowed on school grounds, even though that's where her children goes to school, that's where her children attend sports. And one of her children is actually just went through chemo and radiation for cancer, so they don't want her to be able to be available for her needs either. So they went to the school board and addressed these concerns, and our committee did not give the answers that the parents would have liked. So with that being stated, the video spread very quickly, and now it's became a political issue. So there's petitions going around asking everyone to sign to be change who is our county attorney, who is the leaders of the school board with the district. There's petitions going around to change laws where people are not allowed to resign, that is in professional roles, during active investigations, and so forth. So this has caused a very chaotic situation in this small town where it's really turned a lot of people against each other. So with that being stated, I think the way that our school district is going to have to implicate for this is there's got to be a way that we have to meet in the middle and try to make everyone happy on a certain level, especially while the investigation's ongoing and there's no there's no charges that has been put into place or that will probably even come into play. On the other hand, with that though, where we do live in a small county and everybody knows everybody type of situation, you got people that is stating that the school social worker will get off with sexually grooming children because she's well known in the community. I don't believe that whatsoever, but it is causing a lot of problems within our little county right now. Although she should not have been texting students after hours, there was nothing sexually being stated, but she was providing a lot of positive affirmations to the students. So let me say that. All right, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed me blabbering.